Hello everyone, welcome to part 3 of How to Become a Winner. Today we're going to talk about step 2 in our 4-step plan, which is about women are not a priority. And for those of you who don't understand, I know there's a lot to throw out there, just remember the first word of every step. So step 1, take stock of yourself. Step 2, women are not a priority. Step 3, right now is the time. And step 4, away you go. Take the first word, take women's rights away. That's how you remember how to become a winner, is you take women's rights away. So step 2, women are not a priority. So when you're growing up, and if you're an adult, you remember this, and if you're in school, this is probably happening to you right now. Everybody is telling you what you should do with your life. And it inevitably involves benefiting them at your expense. You have parents telling you should get married and have kids. Why? Because they want grandkids. They're too old to have more kids of their own, so they want you to have kids so they can relive those magical moments where they're like holding babies and watch them take their first step and whatnot. They don't give a fuck what happens to you. They don't give a shit about how bad the laws are. They don't care how family court is cancer. It's basically just a feminist sentencing hearing against a man. They don't care. They want grandchildren, and so it's your job to make the grandchildren, so you better do it. No. Go fuck yourself. That's what you need to tell these people. Now, families will threaten you and say they'll disown you. Yeah? So what? I understand that's a lot to take in, especially if you're from a very tight-knit social community. But when your family is basically telling you to submit and enslave yourself to benefit them at your expense, or else they're going to disown you, you need to leave. If you're from a religious background or whatever, you need to leave. You need to leave. Do not tolerate anybody telling you that you have to sacrifice your life for them or else. That is slavery. So you need to leave. Essentially, take responsibility for your own life. I know there's a lot of movies and songs and all kinds of things where, people talking about it's my life. It's a cliche. It's my life. Everyone says that. When a teenager is caught smoking dope by their parents, they're like, it's my life, Mom. If I want to smoke pot, it's my business. But it's true. It is your life. You have one life to live. And once it's over, it's over. No one's going to care more about your life than you. Not your parents, not your church, not your boss, not the government. No one cares more about your life than you. You need to care about your life. Because you only got one. If you spend your life sacrificing for others for no benefit, then you wasted your life. And hopefully, with step 1, take stock of yourself, you've asked yourself what you want to do with your life. Not what your parents want you to do, not what your principal or your guidance counselor or the government or some dipshit, anyone tells you what, not even me. I'm not telling you what to do with your life. I want you to do what you want with your life. Some people accuse MGTOW of being a cult. It's an anti-cult. It's the opposite of a cult. See, in a cult, you have this charismatic leader that tries to get you to give up your identity, to follow him, to join his little cult, and, alienate yourself from people and all this other bullshit. There's plenty of videos and resources if you want to know about cult conditioning. I'm not really talking about that. But I want you to do the complete and total opposite. Not only do I not want you to follow a charismatic leader and cut yourself off and all this other shit, I want you to lead yourself. I want you to gasp. Go your own way. Your own way. Not my way, not his way, not their way, your way. So the first step, obviously, you need to figure out what that way is. That's kind of important. If you don't know which way is your way, how are you going to go it? So step 2, we need to prioritize. We need to put things in their proper perspective. So the first thing you do, once you've thought about what you want to do with your life, you need to take everybody else's opinion and tell them to shove it right up their ass. And if they threaten you, if you don't comply with disownment or whatever, tell them to shove it up their ass. Leave. Fuck them. If you're in a situation where you are legitimately unable to be independent, then you're either a slave or you're a child. Now, if you're a child, what you can do, like if you're under 18, when I say child, I really mean minor. If you were under 18 and you're living with your parents, first of all, why are you watching this? This is an adult show. You should go watch some Fortnite Let's Plays. You shouldn't be on this channel. But while you're here, I guess I'll give you some life advice. What you should be doing in the meantime, while you're waiting to turn 18, while you're waiting to start your life, start preparing. And for God's sakes, do not make any permanent decisions while you're a minor under the influence of your parents. Your parents are going to tell you to go to college for this, that, and the other. They're going to implore you, but you have to sign the paperwork. When you take out a student loan, that's your signature at the end of that paperwork. It's not your parents' signature. They're not going to be on the hook for it. You're going to be on the hook for it. So do not let anyone talk you into making permanent decisions that are going to affect the rest of your life. Because if you're spending your 20s and 30s paying down a student loan for a degree you didn't even want because your parents told you to do it, that's 20 years you're not saving for retirement doing a job that you actually want to do. So whatever you have to tell them you're thinking about it, whatever. I don't know. Buy time until you're 18 and then leave and then do whatever you wanted to do. I understand if you're a minor and your parents have a lot of control and power over you, you may feel like you're trapped and you have to do what they say, but I don't know what to tell you, man. Do something, because you do not want them to trap you in some kind of legal situation where they have power over you after you're 18. Now, once you're 18, once you're an adult, then there's another issue that could happen. Let's say you're an 18-year-old, you're legally an adult, but you have no money. So you're basically stuck living in your parents' house, and your parents are still trying to control your life, trying to tell you what you should do, trying to get you to make permanent decisions to negatively affect your life because that's what they want. You need to bust your fucking ass and make money and get out of there. So there's no easy way to do this. You're going to have to become independent if you have this type of situation. You're going to have to risk alienation, disownment, whatever, in order to be a free, independent person. And it's scary. I don't know what to tell you. Nothing worth having is ever easy. If you're unwilling to take responsibility for your life, if you just want someone to give you a plan that you just follow, then you'll never be a winner. By definition, you will never be a winner. Because everyone I've talked to, and I've seen this countless times in my life and other people's lives, the advice you're given is to always play it safe. Your parents, everybody wants you to do the sensible thing. And people who do the sensible thing and play it safe never win. So if you want to become a winner, you have to separate yourself from these people. And you have to get out from under their influence so that they can't control you and force you to make a bad decision. Okay, I think we beat that dead horse enough. Our next one, start at the beginning. What I mean by that is, don't overthink it and don't jump ahead. A lot of people, when they're forming this plan, they start at the end and they want to skip all the boring stuff and they want to get to the good stuff. And you can't. You have to start at the beginning. You can't jump to the action scene in a movie. You have to watch the slow burn where you're introduced to the characters and you get to know the setting and the central plot starts. You can't, if you just jump right to an action scene, like if you watched the Infinity War Endgame big set piece action thing at the end of the movie without any context of who the fuck these characters were and what the stakes were and all this other stuff, it looks like an impressive, dazzling display of movement and special effects, but that's it. It's no different than one of the Michael Bay Transformers movies. Just a big, dazzling spectacle of special effects, and who gives a shit? Without the context, it doesn't work. So you need to start at the beginning. I know you want to jump. Let me explain this, because I might not be explaining it well enough. I'll give you an example. That might be the best way to explain this. So I want you to think of someone who wants to be an author. They have aspirations to writing a great novel or a great series of novels. But they've been working on this novel for years. It's hundreds of pages long. It's been divided into several volumes, and they haven't published any of it. Any of it. They haven't published shit. And it's because they're afraid it might get rejected. No one will like it. And then they feel like I'll lose my motivation to finish it. But once I'm not going to tell you, you're never going to publish shit. I can tell you right now, you're never going to publish shit. Publish something. Publish something if you want to be a writer. What I see a lot of is people, they don't want to try the small stuff. They don't want to risk the little failures. They want to go big. They want to go big immediately. And they are guaranteed to fail. Guaranteed to fail. Because they jumped right in the deep end before they learned how to swim. So start small. Don't get ahead of yourself. Start simple. Start at the beginning. Put first things first. Whatever you want to call it. It's like people want to sabotage themselves. They purposely do things the wrong way, setting themselves up for failure, to then give them an excuse to crawl back and accept the sensible alternative. And if that's what you're doing, if you're subconsciously or directly sabotaging yourself, setting yourself up to fail, creating these unrealistic barriers that you have no chance of overcoming, just so you can give yourself an excuse to be like, well, I tried. I guess mom and dad were right. I guess I'll go work at the factory or whatever the fuck your thing is. Okay, fine. But you're a loser. You're a fucking loser. Go back to McDonald's where you belong. If you want to be a winner, you need to not be a fucking retard. Stop sabotaging yourself by creating unrealistic expectations and obstacles. Start small, build it up, produce things, create momentum, and win. It's not hard. It's actually easier if you do it the right way. But it's like people, they don't want to try because they might fail. Don't be afraid of failure. And speaking of failure, let's talk about the third bullet point, develop your strengths. There is a myth that what you should do, if given the opportunity, you should strengthen your weaknesses. You should build what you're weak on up to the level that you're competent. That way you're like a jack of all trades. That is wrong. What you should do is you should figure out what you're good at. You should focus on that. Because no one cares if you're okay at something. If you're okay at something, no one fucking cares. They care if you're great at something. And you're probably great at a couple things and you probably suck at other things. If you're going to spend your time developing things, develop your strengths. Become better at what you're good at and forget about what you're bad at. Again, personal example. I can draw. I'm not great, but I can draw okay. I probably rate my drawing skills at a 3 out of 10. It's better than a stick figure, but it's not it's like drunk Picasso level of quality, okay? So because I know I'm not the best artist when it comes to drawing, I outsource and I find good artists who are great at drawing and I work with them. What I am good at is I'm good at video production, doll photography. Didn't even know I had that skill, but there you go. I'm good at certain things that other people aren't good at. And when you're good at something, you're going to attract an audience. People are going to... It's like the reason why people watch sports. Imagine, you wouldn't tune on... It's like the reason people watch sports. You don't turn on the TV and watch a sports game to see little kids at a JV soccer team. You want to see peak athletes performing at their best. Now these peak athletes, when they were in college, they probably neglected their studies. They probably passed with C's. They focused on football or basketball, whatever sport they're playing, because that's what they were good at. And they became the best. They became professional. And now they're making millions of dollars. Now imagine if they're like, oh no, I can't focus on football. I need to get my grades up. So the guy graduates with a degree in some bullshit, and he's not making millions of dollars. He's just working at some office. That would be fucking stupid, right? But people do this all the time. Instead of developing their strengths, they neglect their strengths, they try to build up their weaknesses, and they become mediocre. So don't do that. Don't be a potential NFL player working in an office because you cared more about your grades and developing your athleticism. Now, I'm not saying fail. I'm just saying get C's. Again, I don't suck at drawing. I'm okay. And I'm fine being okay. Because I know artists who are amazing. And I contact them if I need something drawn. And they do excellent work, far better than I could do. And that's fine. I don't get butthurt about what I suck at and what I'm good at. Because we all have our strengths and weaknesses. This is the basis of division of labor and trade. You focus on what you're good at, and you trade that for things you need that you're not good at, that someone else is good at. I mean, again, this is the basis of free trade. There's a whole like parable. I don't know if it's a parable or if it's like just an explanatory example of two tribes on an island. One of them makes excellent spears, but can't make baskets for shit. And the other one makes baskets that are watertight, but their spears are wobbly sticks. And one day, a guy from the spear tribe and a guy from the basket tribe meet. And he trades one of his excellent spears for one of his watertight baskets. The question is, who's better off? And the answer is, they both are. Because the basket guy, he can make another basket easy, but he really needed that spear. And the spear guy needed that watertight basket far more than he needed a spear, because he could just go make another one because he's really good at making them. So they're both better off trading, rather than the spear guy, I don't know, like focusing on making a better basket. Just get the basket from the basket guy and give him one of the spears that you have plenty of anyway, and you're both better off. So it's really about maximizing your potential by putting your time to work in a very efficient manner. And the most efficient use of your time is to develop your strengths. So next week we'll talk about Right Now is the Time, which is all about setting meaningful goals. Until then, this is Turd Flungy Monkey. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. 13 Rules to Not Be a Fucking Cuck is my latest book, and my greatest book. My previous works have been mostly comedy, satire, parody. This is a book I didn't just do for the lulz and because it was funny, but actually because I think it will make a difference and will help people. We live in a world with a lot of different competing ideologies, individuals, organizations, everything you could think of, trying to subvert your life for its purpose. Everybody has a plan for your life and they don't care what yours is. But if you don't stand up for your life, about what you want to do with your life, somebody else is going to make that decision for you. So don't be a cuck. Check out 13 Rules to Not Be a Fucking Cuck on Amazon and Amazon Kindle. Links in the description.